Hi, everyone. My name is Alexandra. I am a BI expert at AppsFlyer, which is located in Israel, and I live in Israel. But I was born in Ukraine, and my family immigrated to Israel in '91. So I do speak Russian, but I realized that I can't translate all the terminology to Russian, so I'll be doing the presentation in English. So as a BI expert in AppsFlyer, I'm responsible for providing an end-to-end analytics solution to our internal departments. And I'm going to talk about AppsFlyer and our data overview. We will start from a little intro, and then we will dive into the big data trends and the added value and the insights that we can get from it. And also I'm going to talk about the challenges in this field. So mobile. Mobile is a multi-billion, massive business with incredible potential. We spend more time with this device than with any other screen. It's always on. It's always within reach, even when we're sleeping. And we're surrounded with a lot of content from the mobile. But measuring mobile is tough. We have different approaches, marketing approaches to the attribution measurement process, and top media sources have their own measurement processes that sometimes could conflict with one another. So in order for marketers to be able to see the accurate picture, it's quite hard. So AppsFlyer was founded in 2011 as a solution to the mobile measurement world. AppsFlyer is a mobile attribution and marketing analytics platform that provides to those marketers better insights about all their campaign and applications. So in the mobile attribution flow, we have those advertisers who are the app owners that want to reach out to those end users. We have the agencies that kind of helps advertisers to reach out those ad networks. And we have the ad networks that are playing as a platform for those applications to be exposed to the end users. So AppsFlyer's SDK provides an event tracking functionality and helping those marketers to see the full accurate picture of this mobile attribution flow. As a result, we have a great dashboard that provides performance metrics. We are tracking every event that's coming from every application, impressions, click, installs, in-app events, in-app revenues, everything. And beside that, we gave those marketing KPIs, which are very important for the attribution mobile world, like CPM, ROI, lifetime value, and et cetera, et cetera. So in order to do that, we have to process huge amounts of data. And I won't be diving into this very technical part of how we do it, but I just want to mention that we are capturing all our events with Kafka, divided by different topics. And after certain processing, all this data is stored in BigQuery. And this is one level of data that we are gathering. This is the raw data, and it serves the drill downs for our dashboard. And we have a second parallel level of data, which is the aggregated data, and it serves our analytical part of our dashboard, all the KPIs and all the measurements. So those events that are coming to Kafka, after running some Spark jobs and ETLs, we are aggregating the data and storing it in ClickHouse and in Druid. And all this information stored in S3 of AWS. So let's see a little bit what we're dealing with. We have 70 billion events daily processed in Amazon. We have 60 terabytes of data daily processed in Amazon. And our BigQuery size currently is about 25 petabytes of data. And it keeps growing very fast, more than twice and a half in a year. So we're giving a great product for those marketers outside we're gathering a lot of information, we're saving a lot of information, but what about ourselves as a company? How do we measure ourselves? How do we get our managers better insights from all this data? So let's see. First of all, we're using Looker on top of all this infrastructure as our BI platform. For several reasons, we chose to go with Looker. First of all is the real-time analytics. So it gives us an immediate solution for analytics since it sits on top of our data sources and it's just connecting real time. So we're just defining a connection on a BigQuery, on Druid, on AWS, on S3, and that's it. You can immediately start to analyze your data and run SQLs. Looker has a great business layer, modeling language that's called LookML, but it's based on SQL. So learning LookML is very quickly. Everyone that knows SQL can also immediately start writing LookML, and it gives our analysts and users the ability to build business logic layer on top of all this raw data and to really get some information and not just raw data events. In terms of performance, we have the advantage of those great databases like Druid and BigQuery, since Looker sits real-time on top of them, and every time you're running a query in Looker, it's sending it to the database, so we have the advantage of those great processing mechanism. And in terms of permissions, we divided the permissions to several layers, and not just in terms of data restrictions, but also in terms of different users in Looker, meaning we have end users that are just seeing dashboards and analyzing data. We have analysts that are really building queries and building the business model on top of Looker. And of course, we have managers and administrators. And before we will dive into the real added value and insights, I want to quickly go through the cloud-based big data analytics trends. And as you can see, there is a rapid growth of cloud computing in the last 5 years. According to IDC, within 1 year, companies will spend 4.5 times more on cloud-based analytics than on-premise solutions. And according to Forrester, public cloud adoption is #1 priority for technology decision-making in big data. And also we can see that we have those same benefits that we had in on-prem solution, we have them on cloud. So basically, we're not losing anything. Another great trend in a big data is data centralization. And it basically means keeping all your data in one place. And an example of this could be data warehouse that sits on top of your data sources, or you can just store your data in one place. And it gives you several benefits. First of all data in one place. It means one source of truth for all your company. You won't have distinguishes between different data sources. You won't have different numbers for the same KPIs that are coming from different data sources. And your company will trust your BI team. Also, it gives you the ability to combine different data sources, meaning we can join, for example, BigQuery and data from Athena or from RDS. We can join this data together and really be able to see the full picture. Data integrity, it's always up to date, it's always accessible. You don't have to wait for any ETL that will run in the morning and the data will be available in the evening or tomorrow. Nothing. All data is near real time. No need to duplicate the data. So sometimes you need to move data from one source to another to be able to combine it with a different data or to be able to analyze it or for other different needs. When you have one source of truth, you don't need to do this. And also, there are a lot of BI tools that allow you to connect external to your data sources, meaning you can just run queries on top of your data source like Looker, instead of moving all the information and duplicating it. And for example, in our case, when we have 25 petabyte. It's not scalable to duplicate this data for BI needs. Also, less maintenance, of course. One system, you don't have to maintain a lot of different systems. And same system for everyone. Like I said, your company will trust you. Your business users will know that all your data sits in one place. Another interesting trend that we are working this way is self-service BI. So self-service BI is a business intelligence approach to data analytics that enable business users to access and work with data even if they don't have a background in BI. Meaning, you give the ability to the end users to be really involved in this process of building analytics. They can build the business layer, and they know better than you what's the business layer that they need on top of this data. And the real benefit that this gives you, you don't have bottleneck in your BI. No one have to wait for you. So if they just need a new report, a new business model, they just go to Looker and write queries and building it by themselves. So they don't have to wait for you always to build something for you. And I want to show you the transformation that happened during the last 5 years in the big data and BI field. So as you can see, we have a really great differences in the ecosystem, in the tools that we were used to use in the BI, and now they don't fit anymore for those data scale. We see that there are different properties in the BI and the big data, but the main purpose of both remain the same. Besides the traditional reporting and analytics, which of course we all have and we're all using, we want to get better decision making. So it doesn't matter what infrastructure you are using, you want to make better decisions for your business. And now let's see examples of how we do it at AppsFlyer. So besides the traffic information that we are gathering from our end users and our customer, we have a lot of internal tools that we are using. For example, Salesforce, Jira, Zendesk, CRM management. So we are keeping all this information in a small database, RDS, which is also AWS, and we're combining all this information together, the traffic and the internal data, and that's how we're giving the full picture to our internal departments. So one of the most important dashboard in AppsFlyer is the SaaS metrics KPI dashboard. We call it SaaS metrics since AppsFlyer is a software as a service company, so we just call it SaaS metrics. And of course, it's for management, for manager level dashboard, but we have several sections in this dashboard. First of all, one of the most important is the monthly and the annual recurring revenue. All the information that comes from our invoices, from our customers. Of course, we want to see the month-over-month growth in this KPI. We want to see how company performs. Another section that we're measuring is the churn metrics. We want to know how many clients do we have, how many of them contracted according to the package that they have, how many new clients we have every month, how many clients left us, churn metrics. And of course, we want to know the percentage of loss, and we want to know how much money we lost in those churn metrics. Another section in this SaaS KPI is the booking metrics that based on opportunities data. So we want to see, this is the great tool for salespeople. We want to see the new booking that's coming every month, and we want to also compare it to the target. So of course, salespeople have target for sales, and we want to see the actual versus target. We also see the upsell and the downgrade and all the renewal packages that we have recurrently every month. We see it in this dashboard. And the unit economics section, which is also very important for managers, the average revenue per account, the lifetime value that we have from our customers, the acquisition cost payback, how much time it takes us to get this money back that we spend on a client. And of course, we also show the same data in a graphical version, since in order to, if you want to see really trends, it's better to see it in a graph. So you see exactly how you're performing per month. And in terms of permission, we're just not showing all the information to all managers, but we divided it to each country manager and region manager to see only their relevant accounts. So everyone just see his data. Another insight that we are giving for our salespeople, we call it market analysis. So as we are working with applications, we want to know everything about applications. And our SDK provides us a lot of information about our application, our customer's application. But besides our customer, we want to see information about potential customers, about prospects, how to reach out to all those customers that are not our clients. So we're using SDK intelligence platforms such as Mobo, Mighty Signal, Crunchbase, Sensor Tower. They're providing a lot of information about application. We can, if you have a user, we can just search for an app and you will see all the data, all the public data of this company, of course. So we are taking the information through API from those companies. We're combining this information with all our internal information, and it gives our sales the ability to see what SDK was implemented in what application. Maybe they're working with another company in this field, or any other additional information that can be very useful for them to be able to sell better. We're giving them this dashboard. And we also took this market analysis to a little bit different level. So instead of just logging in and seeking for a lot of information in this dashboard, we've created a browser add-on extension. And of course, it requires someone that can write HTML or JavaScript. So this add-on sits on top of our internal applications. And we take this data, we call it app enrichment. We take this data from those SDK intelligence platform, and we just putting like a timeline on any site that shows key information about this company. So someone logs in, see, for example, it's just a test app, so we can see when it was founded, the funding, SDK was installed, SDK was removed, and any key information that might help them to make better decision and take action eventually. And another benefit of it, you don't need to open another window of Looker of any analytics platform. We see it all in one page. As you know, salespeople don't like to work with different tools. In order for us as a BI team to perform better and to get better and to be able to tell if we are performing well, if we are doing our job, we have this performance monitoring dashboard, and we constantly monitor our users, our content, and our system in general. So we constantly see if there is a performance issue that we need to take care of. We can see who are the most active users and who are not using the system at all, so maybe they need some kind of engagement from our side. We constantly see what type of content we have. If there is unused content, maybe it's not worth to keep it in the system. Maybe there is some content that we should add. So we are constantly monitoring, and we are providing this information also to our analysts in order for them to see how they are performing with creating those dashboards, those reports. And let's talk about the challenges that we are going through in building this data-driven organization and this self-service culture. Huge data sets, it's a real challenge in terms of cost, of course, and in terms of performance. You can run analytics on 25 petabytes of data. It will take forever. So what we did, we divided our data to like two sections, two parts. We left the raw data for our product analysts or for support users that need to write ad hoc queries and really see some specific events. So we left the raw data available in Looker, so they can just run queries. Of course, we're paying with poor performance, but at least we have it available and accessible. But for the managers and for the CSMs and sales, we are using more aggregated data. So we are also running some Spark jobs inside the BI team. We are taking data from those different sources that we have. We are aggregating it into even higher level. It gives us a great performance. And since it's aggregated, it's much smaller than it was original. Also, data warehouse as an example of data centralization, since we do have those different sources such BigQuery and Druid for analytics and raw data, and it's R&D architecture, so we can't do anything without it. Our BI sits on top of this architecture, so that's what we have. So currently we are evaluating kind of data warehouse solution to be able to provide to Looker this one source of truth and keep all the information in one place. And it's a real challenge because there aren't much tools that can really take care of those amounts of information and provide you great performance, but it's possible. In terms of visualization, it's not just what to show, but how you show it. As I showed you before, sometimes a graph could be a better solution instead of just showing random numbers. In graph, you can really see where you have the problem. Also, the timeline that we thought about. Okay, our sales don't want to use Looker and a lot of application. Let's bring the data to them so they will just work with one page and it all will be very, very available for them. Speaking multiple languages. One of our jobs as a BI team is to work with business user and to really translate their business needs into the technical actionable actions. So it could be sometimes very hard for us to be able to speak these multiple languages, to understand each one another, and to be able to really answer their questions as we are working with the operation department and financial department and CSMs and oops. Он просто решил закрыться. Okay. So speaking multiple languages, you have to understand finance people, you have to understand operational people, you have to understand all business users, and as you are not one of them, sometimes it could be very, very hard, and also to explain them why there is a technical issue here or there. And also building this true self-serve BI infrastructure and culture is also quite hard, and it requires from you as a BI constantly support your analyst, constantly support your users. It requires a lot of training. Of course, the learning curve is really high, and it's possible, but it requires for you, at least at the beginning, a lot of training for users and give them a system that will be very quick for them and really easy. So let's summarize this. I've tried to show you, it's not a flow, but it's like a pyramid when you have this absolutely meaningful raw data, and you're starting to build little by little this layer of cloud base, of big data, of analytics layer, and eventually you are staying with those information and insights that could really be taken to actions eventually. And this is the most important thing. If you have some questions, можно по-русски. С этим, я думаю, справлюсь.
Ребята, есть вопросы?
Вы все голодные, я знаю.
Да, у нас следующий. Если нет вопросов, я задам вопрос, если позволите.
Да, конечно.
Как у нас такое было в предыдущем докладе, у нас была такая тема, что есть science, есть бизнес, и я по ту сторону, я со стороны бизнеса, я продуктовый менеджер. И я всегда задаюсь вопросом, мы стараемся в нашей организации быть заботливыми по отношению к нашим коллегам. И мой вопрос следующий. Что я, как продуктовый менеджер, должен делать, в каком ключе с вами коммуницировать, с science, с big data аналитиками, чтобы быть заботливым и чтобы правильно формировать задачи и так далее. Какой бы вы совет дали?
Это нелегко. Смотрите, мы в первую очередь слушаем наших end-юзеров. В первую очередь мы их слушаем, и мы стараемся понять. Не просто вот ему что-то надо. Это не просто надо. Нужно прислушаться, почему ему это надо. Очень часто мы видим только верхушку айсберга, и мы на самом деле не понимаем, для чего ему все это надо. Но если посидеть иногда 5-10 минут и покопаться чуть-чуть, а для чего тебе это нужно? А что ты хочешь этим достичь? Какой инсайт ты хочешь? Не просто вот дайте мне raw data, закиньте меня информацией и все. Какой твой, не изначально, а какая у тебя в итоге, что ты хочешь с этим сделать? Очень часто оказывается, что все гораздо проще, чем нам кажется. Это вот так вот, если очень high-level и очень быстрый совет, просто прислушиваться к своим юзерам и не просто вот, как иногда очень часто делают, отстань, нет у нас этого, но мы не можем. Очень часто у нас, да, есть ответ, и мы можем его, может быть, как-то по-другому, как-то так с задней двери преподать, и хопа, и все довольны. Когда и все юзеры довольны, у всех есть все, что им надо, очень, очень легко в итоге бизнесу продвигаться, потому что у всех все есть, и они в итоге сами к вам приходят. Я вам хочу сказать, что я это прочувствовала на личном опыте. Они в итоге приходят сами, если им давать сначала по чуть-чуть, они потом просят еще. А мы хотим сами, а мы теперь хотим быть девелопером, а мы хотим сами написать, вот у нас модель такая есть, мы хотим сами. То есть это постепенная работа, по чуть-чуть, в итоге у них появляется аппетит.
Спасибо.
Спасибо вам большое.